Have you ever realized that a single unexamined belief was shaping your whole life? I did. And the most surprising part is that that belief looked like love and support, compassion and responsibility. For years, I never questioned it. I just believed it to be true. The biggest things holding me back weren't circumstances or other people. They were beliefs that I had never questioned, beliefs that felt true and loving and responsible. And when I finally examined them, I realized that just because a belief feels true doesn't mean that it is. One of those beliefs was, if someone I care about is struggling, maybe I shouldn't thrive. I never said it out loud, and I didn't even realize that I was carrying that. But looking back, I can see it, the pattern. I made myself smaller, not because anyone asked me to, but because I thought it was the loving thing to do. I believed putting my dreams on hold was compassion. I believed that shrinking my life was support. I've repeated this pattern more than once in different relationships and situations. And I want to be very clear. This is not about blame. Nobody told me to stop pursuing my dreams or to make myself smaller. Those were choices that I've made, maybe out of guilt or out of love or out of a desire to help, but they were still my choices. And honestly, that's good news because if they were my choices, then I can make different choices moving forward. When I looked deeper, I realized that I was carrying beliefs like, if I shine, they might feel bad. If they're struggling, I shouldn't thrive. If I pursue my dreams, then I'm being selfish. And one day I stopped and asked myself, is this actually true? What if my growth doesn't hurt anyone else? What if my joy doesn't take anything away from someone else? What if my success isn't criticism of their choices? What if me fully living is simply me fully living? Then I realized something else. Making myself smaller wasn't helping anyone. It wasn't healing anyone or changing anyone. It was only making me smaller. And over time, resentment started to grow. Not because I don't love the people in my life. I did, but I was abandoning myself. And when we abandon ourselves long enough, resentment follows. Then came guilt for feeling resentment. And it became a cycle that left me disconnected from myself. I stopped taking care of myself. I started eating things that weren't good for me. I gained weight. I felt tired. And eventually, I had to admit to myself, nobody else was doing this to me. Not only was I participating in it, but I was choosing that. That realization was hard, but it was also freeing because if I created it, I could change it. And that's exactly what I started doing. I started to watch what I ate. I started to move my body again. I started to take care of myself. I started building businesses. I started filming videos. And I started to pursue things that excited me. I started to choose myself again, not instead of the people I love, but alongside them. And that distinction matters because this isn't about choosing yourself over someone else. This is about choosing yourself too. I've also realized something else. I can hope that someone else chooses differently. I can encourage, I can support and love them, but I can't choose for them. That choice belongs to them, just like my choices belong to me. And maybe that is one of the hardest lessons in life because sometimes we can spend years waiting, waiting for someone to change, waiting for someone to make different choices, waiting for circumstances to improve, waiting for permission. And one day we realize we've put our whole life in a waiting room. I've come to believe this. I can love someone without shrinking myself. I can support someone without abandoning myself. I can be compassionate without putting my own life on hold. And maybe the most important realization of all, my light doesn't have to get smaller because someone else's has. In fact, maybe the most loving thing that I can do is to let my light shine, not to make anyone feel bad, not to prove anything, not because I'm better than anyone else, but because hiding doesn't help anyone. And living fully might just remind someone of what's possible. So today, I'd like to leave you with a question. What belief are you carrying around that you've never questioned? And what becomes possible if you do? I would love to hear about it. Let's do this together. I'll see you next time.